Alright, so today I would like to show you how to make a simple video with this program in a very short time. So I got Black Void opened up. It is a map specifically for SFM. It is very dark, but if I disable the lights, you can see that it is pretty much a map. We are just having a very weird position right now, so let me go to the bottom. Here we are. Oh yes, if you wish you can just disable some stuff here, but right now we can just use all of this. You don't need to disable anything other than the lights for now. So let's add a new model now. Alright, so the first thing we need to do in SFM, if we have the model loaded up, is to create a camera for it. Because normally you're going to see the work camera, which is not the one that you are going to see if you render out anything like a video or a poster. You need the camera in this animation set editor to have your view of things, or else your video is going to be quite empty. So I'm going to press Shift. Oh shit, I almost forgot. If you have the graph editor opened up instead of the motion editor while you are selecting all the bones of the model, you're going to end up screwing around. So I'm going to hold Shift and left mouse click to place it exactly on the bottom of this map. So we have the position of the soldier. We need to have a camera showing the model. Now here I'm going to follow the rule of thirds roughly, but okay, this should be a good starting position for now. And yep, we have the camera, we have the position, we have the model, of course. So what is our next step is to apply a rig for our character. I used to use the rig bit simple, but since I have discovered this rig rev rig, which is very useful and much more superior than the rig bit simple, because this one will contain the unknown and the other region of the models. This is very important because if you are going to use a lot of models, then you will save a lot of time by not going to go through each model and deselecting those regions, so they are going to be viewable. But just use this one because this is pretty awesome. So yeah, what I was talking about. You have the unknown region, which contains a lot of stuff for the soldier. This works differently for each model, like yeah, I guess the other region has some heavy stuff, but this is unnecessary for now. We really need to do some stuff to the soldier. So yeah, here we are going to go through all the movers. Well, I call them movers, but you can call them whatever you like to. Well, if you have the move tool selected here, you can move the part pretty statically. Well, you can't really rotate with this thing, but if you only wish to move the character on the X or Y axis or the Z, then this is perfect for you. But if you wish to do rotations, then you have to select the rotation tool here, and with this you can rotate the model. But if you wish to combine both, then you can just select the screen tool. That's a weird name, but so if you wish to do the both, then you can rotate the part and you can move the part, just like in the move tool. That's a very weird name. So what we need now is to get rid of this ugly position, because this is the very default animation or just pose for the soldier. I can't really call this an animation yet because this isn't moving at all. This is just standing still. So what I like to start with every single rig I have, well, first of all, if you don't have the rig, you are going to have difficulties with doing this kind of stuff, because the legs will not move like this. The rig pelvis works exactly the same as the rig root if you don't have the rig applied to it, so I can only recommend using the rig, because this will save a lot of time, like really. So I have the pelvis moved, so now I can move all the other parts too. I like to go to the legs for the next step. Alright. And then I'm gonna move this too. Alright. So now we have the legs here. Maybe I can lift this up a bit. Alright. This is okay. So for now, I'm going to select the unknown region. Oh yes, another useful thing about this is by selecting all the unknown region, holding Control, and you can select whatever bone you wish, because if you are going to select all the unknown stuff, then you can just see all the white dots that have bones in them. For example, I want to move the coat on the left side, so I'm going to select this one. I'm going to move this a bit. Oh, yes. And now it's not clipping. We are one step ahead from the clipness. So, coat front, right? This is the right part. And we are pretty much done with fixing the coat. Alright. So, it's not clipping anymore, so it's much more pleasant to be seen by the eye. So we can go on to the next bone, which is the spine. 0. Should rotate this one. Should rotate this one too. Now the second one. And the chest. And now we will come to the neck part. Now this is very disturbing, especially if you are going to animate the scout, because the doc text, for example, for the scout is going to be the children for the neck. What is children is going to be explained in the future, but for a very short explanation, children is something that is going to be attached to a mother or parent bone. So, for example, I have the neck here. If I move the neck, the head is going to be moving the exact same way as the neck, because the neck has a children, which is the head. But if I move the spine too, you will see that everything else that's lower to the spine will move too. That is because all of these things are children to the spine too. So that is my quick explanation of the children's. What do we have here? So I have the basic pose for the soldier. Another very important part is to move the hand. The hand could be anywhere actually. I like to just pull it down a bit. Not this much. Alright, I can basically move this thing here. Alright, so we have hands positioned, and now we have the elbow, which can do this, but I don't think it's too necessary for now to do anything with this elbow thing, because the color, if you move it too much, will affect it. So I would say that you should first position the hand, and then the color, and then the elbow. This is the way of things working here. So I should move this color a bit down. Yes. Alright. So let's go back to our stuff here. You can see that the soldier is lurking inside his ass, but that isn't very good if I enable lights, because we can't see shit. To solve this problem, I'm going to spawn a light. If I'm working with lights, I usually make a secondary viewport that I'm going to place next to my actual shot, and I'm going to pull the light inside this little box. So if I select the light here and I'm going to the motion editor, I can just fool around actually. And right, so we have the basic light here. This isn't far away from complete, so I'm going to lower the intensity. I am going to get rid of some shadows by lowering the shadow filter size. I'm going to lower the shadow attenuation. I'm gonna go up the shadow depth bias, and I'm almost going to maximize the shadow slope scale depth bias. Now that I have done this, I can just go inside render settings. Of course, if you are not going to render your videos yet, you can just disable motion blur, because that will save a lot of resources. At least I think so. Okay, so what I did here is to add some samples to your shot, so you will get rid of those ugly black dots that you can't really explain. And since we have a light here, I'm going to give it some colors. Alright, so we have the basic light here. I'm going to add an... Actually, I can just copy my last one, put it here. gonna lower this down too. And now I'm going to add a rim light. Rim lights are pathetically easy to get. If you get the right position, of course. Oh, I don't really feel too good about this, but I think I should add some stuff here. Yes. This looks fine. Alright, so if you are going to use AO, which is ambient occlusion, you should move these sliders too, because the stock one isn't going to please everyone. So I usually set the SSAO bias to the half, the strength to the 1/4, and the radius to the middle. So I have my setting here, which I can tell you that it's pretty good. It's a simple lighting and position for the bones. So now I can just put a volumetric light behind the soldier, so it's not that dull. I'm gonna add some colors to my rim. Alright, so what I was talking about is that I'm going to add a volumetric light here. I have to right click on the light and enable volumetrics. This will load a bit, but once it is done, it should be fine. Alright, oops. So yeah, I have the volumetric here. I really need to change the color for this one, because I have seen a lot of people not giving any color to their volumetric lights, but I can't. By that I can tell you that it looks very bad if it just stays white. I mean, not everything is so holy, and you get the idea. So if I go back to the timeline and the clip editor, you can see that this volumetric light works perfectly. Well, it could be better, but this isn't the purpose for my stuff here. Alright, so we can now go back to the bloom scale, because I can see that the soldier's hand is very weird here. It's shiny. You can lower that stuff like 4. Should be fine. Okay, we have everything set. We have the lights, we have the volumetrics, we have everything that needs to be done for a generic DeviantArt poster. So next up is animation. I'm going to disable lights, going to disable ambient occlusion, progressive refinement, and now that I have everything disabled, I can also disable the brush models. I only have the character here. These are very important steps if you don't have a powerful PC, so you have a chance to animate inside SourceFilmmaker with a very high FPS. So it's very recommended if you don't have a very high PC, like I said before. Now I have the soldier here, and well, for a very good starting animation, I'm going to give him a idle animation. Idle animation is very simple. He's just going to go a bit forward and back, forward and back. There's nothing very complex about it, so this is a very good first step if you haven't animated in your life. Because for a very good fact, I have never animated before SourceFilmmaker. I made some very crappy Gmod animations. I wouldn't recall them animations, but I have tried my hands with them and it was very unsuccessful. So now I'm going to rotate each bone very softly. So go behind him. Alright. The most important part about animations is that if you have the view like I have here, you should animate the entire model, because the viewer will see everything from the toes to the head. So if you're only going to animate from the spine 0, it is going to become very clear that you haven't animated the pelvis at all. And just look at very good animations and you will see that everybody animates the pelvis too, because not animating them is will become very obvious. So where I was is that I need to animate the color a bit. I'm gonna animate the color here too. And now for the legs. Now if the character isn't really moving, then he can just do something like this. So it will give the illusion of moving. And not like it's an illusion, but it will give something like it's actually doing something. Anyway, next up is the unnecessary parts, like how it's moving right now. Alright, so I need to select the coat in front. Okay. So I just had to search for the keyframe that I have set up for the body, so I can go and add the rest of the keyframes to adjust to that keyframe, so it's not going to move on its own. We need to sync everything. Alright. Now I can tell you that this animation looks awesome. This is the best thing I have ever done in my life. This is moving, but it's not enough for us. You can see that we can just press M, make this keyframe go closer to the first one. Now what I am going to do is to copy the very first frame somewhere here and select all the keyframes and apply a spline tangent. Tangents are very important if you are going to use the graph editor. Otherwise you can just go here select that time period and apply a smooth. But I'm not going to do too much of it right now, so that's all I'm going to do. Let's see how it looks now. Alright. It's moving, I can tell you. Alright, we have done a simple idle animation. It's not much. You can do all kinds of stuff with it, but you can see that it's moving. And everything is moving. That's the most important part. Well, you can do some fancy stuff like moving the the head a bit to the down, and that's too much. Okay, well, as you can see, if you move some simple part on the rotation or just even the move tool, you can see that it will do wires. There are wires here, and these wires will show you how the movement is working. Like for my stuff, for example, I have the rotation X. Rotation X is going down, while going up, and then it will go down. But this is exactly the reverse what is happening on screen, because if you see, this position is down, but if I move it here, it will go up. So everything that is happening here is the reversed, that what is happening in the actual screen for models, because they work reversely. They are stupid. Alright, so I have the animation here. I'm going to enable all the stuff that I have disabled previously. Ambient occlusion and lights. And most importantly, the terrain. Alright. We actually did something here, I can tell you. We can just see how long our animation is. And if you wish to end your shot early, because you are not going to do anything other than just 2 seconds, then you can just press O. This will delete all the rest of the scene. Well, you can actually just grab this end and extend it how far you wish it to go, but you can just end it at the end. And alright. I think we are done here. I can also add some facial expressions. And we are done with our first animation. Well, yes, just as I told you before, you shouldn't go too much with the foots, because you can see that it's just going down too much. I can actually just destroy those things right now. Feed, food. Alright. Yeah, it looks a lot better now. So yeah, this is my small tutorial of how to do lights, animation, and that is all. That was very simple. I hope you enjoyed it, if you could. And I hope I can upload this thing today. See you later.